In today's video, it's stainless brake lines. We got Josh's blue truck in here. We're gonna do brake lines front to rear on it, and then we're gonna dive real deep so you can see what's happening on Project Hang-On's chassis. All the bending, all the flaring, the mounting, and the mistakes, guys. I'm gonna show you what I learned, see what you think about it.
And in between all that, I have to look on Facebook Marketplace and I find 2 more trucks that I can't live without. The deal was just too good to pass up.
Ooh, there it is. Look at that old dang old Josh out there with that truck. He right there. Now, we've got to fulfill something that we was gonna do a while back, and it's worked out. The time is now. Josh is here. We're gonna be putting brake lines on the blue truck that he's building for his nephew. Correct?
That's it.
That's it. Look, I gave him a microphone, so he's on camera now. You're gonna have to go ahead and put that on. But we're gonna get this truck unloaded, get it on the lift, and bust out this stainless brake line kit. Start getting an idea of what we're gonna do for the brake lines. This will be my second time.
It's very similar to what you did on the old man.
Yeah. So, but I feel like that's been an eternity ago that I did that to old Mac, and I've only done it once, and I had James here helping me.
Yeah.
And now it's on me. What we're doing right now is Josh is going to back the truck up here to the door, and then we're gonna assess if maybe we can be safe enough to back it up to the lift and never put it on the ground. Just go straight from the trailer to the lift. He has a winch. We're gonna make fun of him here in just a second because he's not a very good backer upper, he proclaims. We're gonna laugh at him while he does, but we're gonna see if we can do this safely. And if not, we're not gonna take any chances on messing this truck up. Oh, no. Here's gear change number 1. We'll laugh at him, but we won't tell him until the video comes out. All right, so gear change number, and he just hadn't backed up a lot of trailers, but it's still fun to mess with your friends. I almost said a wordy dirt right there. Oh yeah, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. You just gotta taste the air and see which way the wind's blowing and turn your wheel at the right time. Is that too far, Wes, or does that look good?
I can't see a damn thing.
It overshot just a little, buddy.
Oh, I got too far over?
Just a little bit, but just pull forward a little bit and then just get a little bit of a recut on it. The only problem is we're so far away from the lift.
I'm surprised this is that square. But yeah, it'll roll off. It rolls easy.
Now we just gotta get it off there without doing any damage.
Come on. We were having this issue with y'all's the other day too.
Really?
And it was on out.
Is yours from Harbor Freight? So is ours.
I think you can get a new controller. It'll go in all day.
The bad land. Got a bad connection.
This is a good winch for, I think it's under $200.
Oh, dude, you can't beat them. And we've drug a bunch of stuff with that winch.
Y'all's is 12,000. This is the 5,000. This smaller. Come on, man.
So we talked about all this, what we were going to do, and now it's just been over dramatized. Oh. Now we need to push. I have some emergencies, and I'm going to hold the one. The one's going to be right here.
It's not heavy.
No.
There it goes.
Oh. You're good.
All right. We need to move the ass end of it over first. I got real nervous there. There she goes. Cool.
Ta-da.
Oh, there's no drive shaft, is there?
No.
So this is always chalked.
Pre-rolled. Only scared you a little bit.
I only had that one pucker moment where I thought it was going to come off the lift. We had the truck up in the air here, the blue truck here. Josh, Carter's here now too. Just making a plan of action. We got all of our parts laid out. We got our line, we got our fittings, we got our line straightening tool. We've got our new Eastwood double flaring tool with the 37-degree JIC die for the AN fittings. We got our bender apparatuses here. I've got a piece of aluminum TIG rod, so I can use that to kind of pre-bend the bends that I'm gonna use to put all this, because we've got a limited amount of stainless. We don't have just a huge spool of it. We ain't balling like that. We've got a limited amount of stainless. We've got to make it work on this truck. So we've got a pretty good plan of action. So first thing tomorrow morning, Josh is going to be here. Carter's going to be here. Carter's going to be actually working on Hang-On's chassis up here. But we're gonna be getting these brake lines ran on this truck and see if we can knock it out in one day. We did Old Mac in one day. We should be able to do this one in one day, get this thing out of here and get back to work on what we gotta do.
We got this from the great news. Russell has no idea what this is. So I'm gonna let Russell open it because it's gonna be kind of cool.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. All right,
I know what it could be.
Okay, but open it up because it's kind of cool. I'm ready to see it. I'm super excited about this.
I know what it is now. Oh, I have an idea of what it is. I don't know what it is. I know what I'm...
What do you think it is?
What are you thinking before you get
He
further
said
into it?
he said it was a picture of me and him.
Like an Olin Mills photo with little brush strokes on it. You know what I'm talking about?
This is. Do you remember those pictures we took at JCPenney's?
No. This the magazine. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It is definitely the magazine article. All right, keep opening it.
Yeah, 'cause I can't see it.
That's gangster.
That's.
Did you commission this?
It's a company. That's what they do.
I know, but did you reach out to them and have them do it?
They reached out to us.
Oh, that is so
They reached out to
cool,
us?
dude.
That came out really good.
That did come out really
That came out
good.
really good.
That's freaking awesome. Anyways, if you want to get something like this for your whatever, I mean, you can get it for any kind of article and get the great news to do this for you.
Is it like printed?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Printed on metal. Yeah, and then they've got it. You can just hang it on the back.
Oh, you gotta put some lights behind it now, too.
Oh, that would look
That
good.
looks really good.
That would look good with lights on it.
I like it a lot.
That is pretty
I
neat.
like it a lot. I want one for the house. Great news. I want one for my man cave. Dang, that's super cool, man.
Pretty neat.
It's awesome.
All right, here we are. The morning of, we're gonna start working on the blue truck. Josh was here. Josh had to leave again because he forgot the key to the wheels. We need to get the front wheels off to make life easier on us. But we've got our kit from Applied Racing Technologies. I stayed up half the night worried about this, but I feel pretty confident that I'm gonna be able to do it. Just gotta take my time, make sure I do it right. We have a limited amount of tubing. I'm gonna get all this kit unpacked and ready to rock and roll. Josh should be back anytime now with the key to the wheels. We're gonna get started, start bending some line, start flaring some line. Hopefully we can do all this right. All right, boys and girls. First thing first here, I want to show you this hole right here is where the factory brake line would have came through the frame. What we're going to do is this is our assembly right here, and it is going to mount right above that hole. So right there, it's got this little tab. We're going to weld it onto the frame right there, and that's going to let our flex line run across here, and our hard lines work out all this area. You'll see when I get it there. I promise you, you'll see. We're gonna let that cool off, but that gives us our flex line over here. We just need some kind of bracket to kind of hold it, or a zip tie, or a clamp, or something. That gives you a nice flex line. So we'll get that welded up, and we got one to do on the other side. We are QA1'd out today. So what he's doing here, we got this piece welded in there. He's gonna get a little paint on these pieces, and then we're gonna start hooking fittings to them and start running our brake lines between the two sides. I'm gonna do from driver to passenger first, and then we'll go from driver to master cylinder from there. I need to get my feet wet a little bit on the bends underneath the truck before I run the bend up inside the engine compartment, because that's the one you're gonna really see. But all of them need to look nice. But he's getting it spray painted up in here. Oh, that looks good, Josh.
Professional.
That's professional.
It
dude.
is professional.
That's nice.
Says it on the
Oh,
can.
it is. Professional Rust-Oleum. Gangster. We got our flex lines hooked up here, and our little tabs we welded on. We've got the T and the 90 for each one of those in place and tightened up. And then the flex lines are all just hand tight. We'll come back in at the end and make sure all of our fittings are snug before we put fluid in it. But I'm gonna kind of show you what's going on underneath here. There's that little tab we welded on, and we've got that T, and the flex line comes off, goes down to the caliper over there. And then we're gonna come off of this bare fitting right here, and it's gonna go down and across that cross member over there. And we're gonna go over here to this other side, and it'll go in right here. So there's that other fitting. There's our flex line going to our caliper. And that is just our stationary positions that we need so that we know exactly where our stainless needs to go. We're gonna get this whole front section knocked out, and then we'll have to just run one long line all the way to the back of the truck, and then run some stuff across the rear end will be the next step in that. But now comes the let's bend some lines and don't mess nothing up. Here's where the complications start to come in. I've got a piece of aluminum TIG rod here, and this works really good for a template when you're making this stuff. So you're not trying to make your first bends out of your stainless line that if you screw up, you're screwed. But what this is gonna allow me to do is get an idea of where my line is gonna go. So we're coming off this fitting and we've got a longer bend here, and that lets us cut right underneath the frame. So I'm gonna go over there and bend up one end of a piece of tubing so I can match what I have here, and then we'll straighten this piece of TIG rod back out and work out our other side and make that whole section of tubing that connects these two sides together. Hopefully I'm doing it right. This is the part that I'm most nervous about, to be honest with you. So we've got our little piece of TIG rod here, and now it's time to transfer it to our stainless tubing. What I've done is I've come in here, I've got my TIG rod on, and I've made me a mark where I want my bend to start. This piece was this much too long anyway, so I've got leeway on this end to trim a little bit off. But what I have to do is get this bend right, and then once I get this bend right, I'll rotate this little piece on there and make me another mark for this bend, and then rotate it again and make a mark for this bend. So it's, and the complicating part is putting it in this bender the right way and not bending it backwards, because my brain is dyslexic when it comes to bending this stuff. So trying to bend it the right way. This first bend is just a bend, but the rest of them are very important. That's when it starts getting complicated.
Never used this tool?
Never used it. Oh man, I feel like I'm breaking something. Let's see how close that got. Oh, we almost there. We're almost there. So this tool does work. In case anybody needs one, Eastwood sells this tool. Hadn't kinked anything yet. All right, look at that.
Pretty good eye. First
First bend. So now what I'll do is I'll come in, you can see where my next bend needs to be. So I'll put me a little mark on there with the marker. And then this is when things get complicated, because I have to make sure it bends in the same spot in the same direction. But that's why we have this template. So it should make life easy. There's that, that's nice. Now the question is, do I go ahead and flare this end and get it hooked up so it keeps it in place? Let me go grab my marker right quick. Oh, look at, boy, you're hired. You're
Did you be taking my job? God dang it.
That sucker was Johnny on the spot, boy.
You won't get out of here.
Go now, get. At least he's working on something cool. So the way this Eastwood tool works, it's got what they call options. So we're gonna go with option 0 here, and this is what lines everything up. So we push this forward, and this needs to be butted up against it there. And then that lets us put this down. So we keep pressure on that, keep that butted up. And then oh no.
Oh no, what? Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, oh no.
I saw what was going on.
All right, now we go. Wait a minute, what the hell? Oh, I did that wrong, y'all.
What'd you do wrong?
It's supposed to be pressed in.
Ah, you gotta turn this handle.
Yeah. Because that's where everything's gonna hit. And then that lets you go out. And so now it has option number 1 for 3/16 right here.
Let's see. Okay.
And so this tool has 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 3/8 all on the same setup, but we're using 3/16 pipe. So this is the very first option, and it's pretty straightforward. You just run this sucker in.
Whoa.
That gave it its first crimp. And now we roll it all the way around to option 2 here. And option 2 will do 3/16 and 1/4 inch with the same die. We're doing 3/16. We run it in, give it a pop.
You giving it a bed hug?
Table
heard something crunching.
I did too. I didn't like that. Oh, it was my joints?
Yeah. We didn't put the thing on. This is the. We can hit it from the back though.
No, it won't make that corner. I forgot to put my stuff on here.
You got a little premature.
You have to put your pieces on here. This is like a meme, but I forgot to put my pieces on here. So these things need to go on so that once you get that flared, it can tighten up. So I'm an idiot, but I feel real dumb in these moments. Now I'll be left up to, like last night I stayed up all night. Oh, I gotta do these brake lines. How do I do this? How do I do that? And tonight I'm gonna be like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You did that in front of everybody. You're an idiot. There we go. These pieces need to go on first. You put your little nutty on here. Then you put your little ferrule on here. And then you bend everything. And now I hope we don't run into the next problem to where we don't have enough slack here to make this bend because we're too short.
That looks good.
Nice little flare.
Yeah.
And it's made to, so that fitting goes inside that flare and this goes around it and squishes it all together. And you got your AN brake lines. Yeah, bro. This ain't my first rodeo. It is my first rodeo.
Second rodeo.
I'm gonna have to make a choice here in a minute on length because we're running out. Where's my little rod?
You making this side look exactly like the other, Russell?
I'm trying to.
It's got to look exactly like the other side. There can't be any differences because then your brake ratio would be off.
My brake ratio is gonna be off.
This side will brake harder than the other.
You just had to have that little extra bit. That dust cap was pushing the center cap out. I'm talking about I think that's 3 millimeters thick.
Where's your
The smallest one I can find.
Where's your TIG rod?
Right here. I just.
You're not using it and making your marks?
Yeah, that's what I just did. I got a mark right there.
Oh. This is going to be a riveting video. It's going to have people on the edge of their
It's
seat.
gonna stop them in their tracks.
Was that a brake joke?
Yeah. After this one, we're gonna take a break.
You're so stupid.
It's super hard to put these in and show you them going in, but we got this front one. I showed y'all kind of the process of me bending it over here a while ago. We got the ends flared and have it in there, and I just want to show you what it looks like because we're fixing to move on to the line that's going to supply the rear of the truck. But the front one turned out really nice. I'm very pleased. So we come right off the proportioning valve. It's hard for you to see, but right there off the proportioning valve, and that thing goes straight down to the frame rail down there. It mounts to the frame right here. Got another nice bend. Then it goes forward all the way up to our junction right here. That looks real nice. Everything's out of the way. Everything is secured. So now we move on to the rear of the truck, and then we'll have the truck in the air when we put this one in, so you'll get a little more look of how it's gonna work going to the back. We're gonna bend the front section of it, go ahead and flare it, feed it all through there, and then I'll bend as I go throughout the back of the truck. Then we're gonna have to pull it all back out so we can flare the back end of it where it goes. And we gotta weld one little tab onto the frame back here, and then we'll have to weld a tab onto the rear end.
What you doing? You almost done?
So this is our rear brake line. We've already got the front one. The front is done other than like all the mounts and tightening everything. Now we're gonna go ahead and pre-bend this front section of the rear one. So this is gonna give us the come off the master cylinder down to the frame. And then we're gonna feed all of this slack we've got left in there, and I'll have to bend underneath the truck as we go, getting it to the back. Then we'll pull it all back out and flare those ends. And then we're just working on the rear end section of it. So we'll have lines to bend going across the rear end to our flex lines going out to the calipers.
Gotcha, okay.
Chase has been organizing to make things more productive because it sucks to look for things.
Let me show you.
Especially when people have them.
Yeah, let me show you what I've been doing, because over
Josh
here there is a crap ton of cases with a bunch of specialty tools in it, and we didn't know what was what, and now we know what is what. There you go. You can see all of the specialty tools. Look at my nice handwriting right there, boy. Look at that. Now we don't got to open up 700 cases to figure out the ball joint puller or the discombobulator thingamabopper.
The discombobulator thingamabopper?
Yeah.
I was looking for that the other day.
I was too, man. I couldn't find it.
It was in my son's truck.
It damn sure was. And then, that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to create a sign-out sheet for when people like Josh, which Josh normally doesn't borrow stuff, But when he does, he normally brings it back, but he didn't bring back my diagnostic tool. And I went and bought a truck the other day, and I couldn't see what it was doing.
He couldn't diagnostic it.
Couldn't diagnose it. I just bought it. I was kind of upset with my purchase.
Yeah, but I told you, I think it's a good purchase.
It was a good purchase. Let me show you this. Man, Marketplace be getting me, man. I'll open it up, and the first thing will be is a damn Facebook Marketplace ad for a vehicle that I don't need, but I have to get it. So this is what we bought. It's a dang 03 1500 HD. Heavy duty. So it's pretty much just like Russell's truck. Russell's is a 07. This is a 03, has 179 or 89,000 miles on it. Not in bad shape. Not in bad shape. So you got the 8 lug and not many dents. So that's freaking great. There is one dent right here. There's a dent. The bumper's a little bit dented. And then back here, the bumper is pushed into the side. But I know a guy that can fix that, Russell, and but not right now. Then over here, I mean, dude, this thing is in good shape. Man, no dents, no dings. Paint is coming off on the hood and the roof, but that's not bad. All the seats are in good shape. The carpet needs to be cleaned, and the driver's seat is toast. It's like it's caved in. It's like the springs underneath it are broken. What's your update, Russell?
We've got the rear brake line ran, and I'm going to, we got these Lokar brake line
Clippity clamps?
clippity clamp things. We're going to use these so it gives us a nice separation on these brake lines coming off the proportioning valve.
You know why?
Why?
Because you got to keep it separated.
I was like, why? I didn't know. You got me there, boy.
All right, so y'all are keeping. Oh, I see what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Down there where they're touching.
Yeah.
Keeping them separated. Down there.
That'll keep them always the same distance apart.
That's
there.
nice.
And it's going to look nice, so they come off and look real pretty. This is made specifically for 3/16 lines. It's a dual. They do have singles as well. And you can get all this at Lokar. We got 2 of these kits. They go all the way from 3/16 up to 3/8, I believe. And it just lets you organize your lines on your chassis and look nice. What I'm doing under here right now seems a little counterproductive. I'm going ahead and putting clamps on the brake lines, and I'm trying to use existing holes on the frame. That keeps us from having to drill anything on this already powder coated frame. I'm bending as I go so that I can have all of this brake line under here instead of pulling it in and out and in and out and in and out. So I'm just trying to follow the shape of the frame, and then I also need to follow. I've got body mount here. I've got QA1 cross member here. So I've got to get behind all that stuff to get to where I need out back. It's just to make it look nice, make it secure. So when you look underneath this truck, Josh has already made it awesome. The guys at Killian's made it awesome. I'm gonna make sure the brake lines look as good as I'm capable of, you know what I'm saying? Well, we got the rear line on there, bolted up all the way back, got it flared, got it all figured out how we're gonna mount the little tab. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-bend the brake lines for the rear end housing so that I know exactly where I wanna put that T on the rear end. The blue truck here behind us is gonna have some brakes, and it'll be one step closer to being on the streets. We're almost to the end point on these brake lines on the blue truck. I've really just got the rear end section of the brake lines to do, and then I gotta put some mounts on this front section up here where they run across the cross member. And then, since I'm in brake line mode, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the brake lines on Hang-On's chassis. While I've been working on this truck, Carter has been putting this chassis together. The only thing that's really changed since last time you saw it is that he's got some front suspension on it, and he's got one extra cross member in the back for the QA1. But we're gonna keep up with what he's got going on this chassis, bring you along and show you, because this is the nicest truck that the Journey has built themselves. This truck is nice, and Josh's red truck was super nice, but we just helped on those. We didn't build these trucks. Josh built those trucks. So this is the nicest truck the Journey has built, and it's gonna be awesome to see it all come together. It being a rolling chassis is the thing I'm super excited about. We're gonna have that boost line performance motor on there, and the QA1 and the tin works and the Abilene powder coating all just sitting there, looking like it's ready to go somewhere, and there ain't even a body on it yet. I'm super pumped about it. So we're gonna keep up with the progress on that as we finish up on this. And then we will head back over here to that and start doing brake lines, and you'll be able to see a little bit better what's happening on this chassis for the brake lines. It's easier to see when there's not a body in the way. So let's go.
What y'all doing? Are y'all doing?
We're done with the front.
Yeah?
Putting the wheels back on.
I got you so close to me because
Yeah.
you don't have
I
a
don't have
mic
a
and
mic.
I've got a mic.
But yeah, we're done with the front end and putting the wheels back on so we can finish up the back.
All right.
Yeah, what he said.
What he said?
Yeah, with the front, everything's done on the front other than actually putting fluid in and bleeding and checking for leaks. And then out back, we spray painted the little brackets we welded on there, let the paint dry, and we can go ahead and put all our hard lines back on, and then we just got to make our flex lines going from the hard line to the caliper itself on the rear. We're done with old blue, baby.
Almost done. I said I was supposed to be stopping buying vehicles, but another one popped up on Marketplace. I mean, it was 13 minutes. It posted 13 minutes.
A deal's a deal. And I'm happy because it's variety.
Oh yeah, we're getting rid of some
Variety.
Squarebodies, boy. We're getting all the
I don't
stuff
hate
we want.
square bodies.
No, but we're getting rid of most of them, and we're gonna have fun with the ones we're gonna have.
We've been on
So-
the carnivore diet for a long time. We need to have a little sugar in our diet.
Yes, we are getting some sugar. The S10 is something I had when I was in high school, my very first vehicle. So we're gonna do that again. S10, we're gonna recreate the Super Sport. I got my trusty sidekick over here, Shy Justin, and he's gonna go with me, help film, and if I need some help loading this thing up, I guess he can help me. But he doesn't like being on camera at all. We got 2 minutes, 1.2 miles, and we'll be here. We're over here on Lake Palestine. Over by Chandler is where we're going.
Quarter mile, turn right onto County Road 3105.
That's where we're going, 3105, wherever that is. Going to pick up this S10, I'm super excited. It was not a scam. I'm always worried about scams. You thought it was a scam, didn't you? I'm not even gonna put you on camera. You're gonna be like, we're gonna do you like Wilson. We need to put like half your face and you can talk. What was I saying? Y'all thought it was a scam. Justin and
Continue on County Road 3105.
Wes thought I
half a
was
mile.
just playing along with a scam, but it's not. Well, hopefully it's not a scam. We haven't got there yet and seen the vehicle, but we're about to be there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but behind me is way bad. That looked like a war zone is what, Russ? You said it looks like a war zone coming in here. Dang. Dude, there is some major potholes coming into this neighborhood, which I think is a trailer park. Whoa, dang, dude. Look at this road. Look at this. They're like mini ponds. I was thinking about putting it in four-wheel drive for this next one. Dude, that is crazy. Dude, that would suck if you had to drive that every day. I don't.
S10 probably something fell loose. That's why I don't start.
Yeah, he had to drive up and down this road. Where's it at? Oh, here he is. It's back here. All right, we're gonna put this down. Ooh, I lose control when I see a marketplace find, and I got to go get it. Oh, it's got to be mine.
Lakeway Drive makes sense.
Lakeway Drive. Oh shoot. Yeah, that
Continue
was
on
definitely a
County Road
Lakeway Drive.
3105 for half a
It
mile.
was the worst road I've ever been down. Those weren't potholes, those were mini ponds in the middle of the road. Yeah, I had to put it in full drive. We almost got stuck, almost flooded it. It was pretty bad. But now we've got this S10 that looked a lot cleaner. Why does that happen? It looked clean in the pictures, but it's not clean in person, but it is still an $850 S10 that doesn't run and has a couple dents in the bed, but that's about it. So it's pretty good deal, pretty solid deal. We're gonna take it for $850. I bet we can even get it running. Wasn't 30 minutes down the road, so it's still a win. Dang, I wish it was a lot cleaner than what it looked like. I wish it looked like what it looked like in the pictures on Facebook Marketplace. That'd have been real nice, but that doesn't happen. Never happens. For some reason, never happens.
I don't see it yet. Chase bought another truck, even though he said we weren't going to buy any more right now because we need to sell some. But he told me what it is. And I was telling you, let's go look at it. I'm going to talk on the way. Back in the 2000s, the early 2000s, I was bagging trucks and everything, and 90% of my customers had S10s. And I always vowed I was done with them. But then it's been so long since I've been around one.
We're not done with S10s.
Shut up, I'm telling the story.
Okay.
No, you ain't seen Pirates of the Caribbean.
I have seen Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, Jason Cassidy had a cool one, and there's been several other cool ones around, and I feel like they've got some nostalgia now.
Yeah, look at how dented that bedside is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
a small
dent.
truck too. If we wanted to paint it, we could paint it.
Well, yeah, there's that.
That's easy.
There's that.
Easy.
And besides that,
Easy. It's just got a lot of what we call whiskey dents.
waves.
Whiskey dents. That old guy, he got dumb, knocked his dang shovel inside the truck. Got me a little ding on it.
It's pretty clean.
This side's cleaner than the other side.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
It's pretty clean.
whew, it smells skunk.
Dang, it smells like poop.
We ran over some skunks.
Oh, it smells like poop.
And it's a standard. I thought it was automatic. But they took good pictures. For $850,
Yeah.
$800.
Dang. That
What?
sucked. The dash.
Oh, the dash is cracked up.
Dang. The headliner's so small, that ain't no problem.
No, that's easy.
The door panels are solid. The seats are solid. The carpet's no big deal.
No,
The dash sucks, though.
the dash does suck because you got to take that whole thing out.
Yeah, boy. It ain't
Boy,
like these newer ones.
That sucker comes all out. You got to take that whole thing apart.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks.
Oh, yeah. I bet Covercraft has a cover for them. A cover lay. What is it?
Cover something.
Cover something.
Cover dash. Skin it. Dash skins.
Dash skins. Jesus,
Something.
I'm an idiot.
Something.
I'm an idiot.
I like these flames though. The flames are custom.
No.
The flames are cool. You know, the front bumper's missing. The
This was the coolest wheel stock on an S10.
Right.
They looked good, slammed. I had my budget drop for these mugs.
Cut them.
Heck yeah, boy.
And
We cut a coil and 3/4 off the front, blocks, and flip the load leaf. We get them down there, buddy.
just think. You know what? You know what I want to say something?
Say something.
Have you ever heard of a person that's never used a ratchet strap?
Of course.
That sucker right there has only used one time.
You got your CDL. How is that possible?
Yeah, what in the she didn't know how to use a ratchet strap. He said, I've only used these like one time.
So what's wrong? Does it run?
It goes, backfires, pop.
I bet the timing. Yeah, bro.
Anyways, yeah. Another one to sit next to that S10. That
It'd be
Toyota,
cool.
that
It'd be
mini
cool.
truck.
Well, this one's a lot closer. This one's a lot closer.
Oh, a lot closer to being
Usable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it probably will be. It's a run it. This is will it run? Will this sucker work? I bet it'll crank up. It'll take us afternoon, and we can
This
get
was
it.
Carter's first truck, son. He'll be like, oh, there's a boat right here. We got to loose this sucker up. Back in 1977, we used to do it like this. It ain't got carburetor no more.
It's a 1999.
I know, but I was just trying to make fun of how
I
old
know.
Carter is. He ain't that old, but.
All right, we don't know what we're doing. Don't pull that out. Don't pull that out. Just in case something happens.
What do you mean?
Okay.
We gotta take it out, but let it down.
Damn, that's perfectly centered. Almost. Look at this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know.
Get the stance.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of not good.
It's gonna go away from us.
Okay. Is it gonna hit that?
Well, you ain't that low.
Cool. That was a good idea, Russell. Carter didn't trust him.
The one time Carter's like, let's don't do the sketchy thing. That was easy peasy, bro. Nobody's back is hurting. Chase did all the heavy lifting. You didn't do. Now it's a roller. Yeah, boy. Looks good on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Now it needs a motor, boost line sitting right here. BTR and boost line. No.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Trimic,
the Trimic transmission.
brake lines, fuel tank, motor, trans, brake lines, fuel tank, and then body.
That'll work.
I like it.
All right. More progress is being made on Project Hang On. Thanks to Carter. He put all this together. Carter did all this.
Carter did it all.
Did it all.
Yeah, I'm ready to do the brakes on this though, because everything's out. I'm fresh on the brain with it, so I can transition straight from that truck to here. Be nice.
All right.
No, we got some clean ones.
Here at the Journey HQ, things are happening. Stuff
Right over
is
there on Chase's
going
roll around
on.
that red
We've got engines
cart
in
right
the air. We've got full roller frames on the ground, and we're mating this to that. Is that what we're doing?
We're gonna get the motor and trans in so that we can go ahead and get a drive shaft ordered. We can measure
Ah.
for a drive shaft
So what we're doing is some sort of planning. Sounds like.
and make sure everything fits, make sure everything lines up. That way, We got a limited time frame to do this.
And we got the man over here, the myth, the legend, John, and he
There you
said
go.
he's going to tell people that he
That's
helped
good.
build this because he was over here
Oh,
for 30
not on
minutes
that side.
working on it. He's
I
yeah.
had part of this.
As long as we ain't gonna hit them control arms.
We're good.
All right, ease it down right there because it's gonna walk a good ways.
Y'all are doing an excellent job. Oh, y'all trying to line them up on those motor mounts right here.
Go ahead and get that other side. It's down, Carter.
Yeah, we're good on this side.
Come on, John, you got to put that in the hole.
What do you need? Up, over?
Come up just a touch. Alright. We have a
Line-up tool.
what's that thing called?
Line-up tool?
Pokey in the way?
A line-up tool.
Carter, are you good on your side?
No, it's still high.
I'm still high.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go. Is it going in?
Come up just a bit.
So Carter side's in. Of course my phone would ring right now.
Oh, there it is. Stop. There
it
you
went.
go. Oh, we are hitting the lines.
Alright.
Not good.
In the destruction of the QA1 stuff, it says you might have to bend.
Did you know that, Carter?
He didn't read them. I'm telling you.
They didn't have pictures.
He's just gonna grab in there and bend them. Carter just says, "Let the motor bend them." What do you think about that, Russell?
I think my face probably says it all.
Those who don't like that idea.
This is why we can't have nice things. It's because Carter is Carter.
He's Carter.
He did do all this, so we can talk all the trash we want, but he did put this frame all together.
He did do that.
So if it messes up, we know who to blame.
Guys, I have a bunch of orders I've got to get out. Y'all are going on our website, thejourneyhq.com, and buying shirts, and we really appreciate that. And for that, I've been adding stickers to all these orders. I've been collecting stickers for the last 5 years from all the companies that we work with, and we're gonna put them in your bags that you order. So appreciate y'all ordering, guys. Get over to the website, get you a shirt, and if we still got some of those Hot Pepper Fest left over, they're like $10 off. So get one of those. Back to the video.
We've got our hang-on chassis here behind us, and we're going to do brake lines on it, and I'm going to kind of walk you through and show you a little more in-depth how these brake lines go on here and try to make it easy enough for you to understand so you can do this yourself. Now you can see here, we've got a nice chassis, all clean and all bare so that we're gonna be able to see everything as we go. This can be quite intimidating. It was for me the first time I did it. This will be my third one to do with these lines. Having a couple of the right tools and just getting in there and doing it is gonna help you along the way and make this easy for you to accomplish. So let's get started. And let's go over the tools we're gonna be using and what we're gonna be doing today, where we got the kit, everything that goes along with doing stainless lines, or if you wanna do regular steel lines on here, it's gonna work basically the same way. So let's go over our stuff. What do you need to do this? Well, you're gonna need quite a few things to do the job the right way. The most important thing you're gonna need is this flaring tool. Now they have some on Amazon that are similar to this, but this is Eastwood's flaring tool. This one is part number 25304. It's been super handy, but there is something you're going to need with it. You need this die set for the JIC die set, right there, JIC. You're gonna need that to do these AN double flares. That's gonna make a big difference in your ends fitting properly and not having any leaks. We got a brake line kit from Applied Racing Technologies. They have kits that come with everything you need, all of your AN fittings, all of your connectors. We've done 2 trucks already with these kits. We have extra parts, so many extra parts that we have a brake line box now with extra pieces in it. So when we're doing stuff, it's nice having extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna need a bender. You could bend it around pieces of pipe in your shop, but it's just not gonna work as good. We got this one from Eastwood. There's a whole lot of different ones. There's really nice ones. This one's a fairly cheap one, but it does pretty good. And then we also have these pliers here. They will help you get a little bit tighter of a bend sometimes when you're trying to just get a little bit more out of something, especially working on a truck. They are handy, but they're not necessary. This is absolutely necessary. And as far as helping you make this, my buddy James told me about this, and I've been doing it on all the ones we've been doing since then. This is just a piece of aluminum TIG rod. It's like 3/16, and I have bent this one and straightened it and bent this one and straightened it many, many times, and it's still in one piece, but this is what you can do to put on the truck, make your bends, mark them on your tubing, and this gives you a real good idea of what you need out of the tubing when you get there. So you can do all this bending on the chassis with this piece of TIG rod. The last thing that I would say is kind of a necessity is a tubing straightener. We've been using this one right here. This one we actually sell on our TikTok shop. I'm sure somehow, some way we can put a link to it in the description of this video. But this thing right here is gonna take your roll. So your tubing's gonna come in a roll like this, and it is not very workable in this shape. You can run it through this tubing straightener, straighten it out, and have a workable piece of material. And this little piece of TIG rod I was telling you about, I run it through here too, so I can straighten it back out and reuse it again for the next piece of brake line I want to make. You're gonna need a decent tubing cutter. I like this one. It's got that little notch in it right there. It lets you cut the ends off if you mess up. You gotta have a nice tubing cutter, and you need something to clean the ends up. This one's got something on it. I also keep a file around to file the ends, keep them straight, keep them clean. You need that. That's gonna make a big difference. It's disclaimer time, okay? I wanna let you know, I am not a professional at this. I am an East Texas shade tree scientist, if that's what you wanna call me. You can call me an idiot if you want to. I'm just telling you, I've only done this a few times. I'm not the end all be all to doing this stuff. I'm just telling you how I do it and how I get from point A to point B. Point A being no brakes, point B being having brakes or brake lines, whatever you want to call it. Just use this as kind of a guideline. Do your own research. Make sure you're doing it the right way, because brakes and steering are the two most important things on any build you do. You need to be able to steer and you need to be able to stop long before you worry about looking good, cool wheels, chrome. The chrome don't get you home. Just do your own research. Use this as a guide. I'm gonna try to include as much as I can along the way. I'm learning as I go, just like you are. We all are learning in this process along the way, and we're just doing it together right here. So let's get to work and see if we can get some brake lines on this truck. So our little piece of TIG rod here, it's all bent up from the last truck. We're just gonna straighten it back out pretty good, get it as close as we can. Get the hard bends out of it is really what we're trying to do. We're gonna run it through our little tube straightener we got clamped in the vise here. Now this thing's very straightforward. You just put it in here and feed it through and tighten it up and feed it through and feed. Oh, that was a little too, it broke. That's the first time it's broke. Oh, I'm a little too tight here. So now we got a much shorter piece. I talked all that trash in the beginning about how many times I've bent this and it hasn't broke. Well, it gave it to me now. It has broke. We're gonna see what we can do with just this short one. And if not, we'll run up to the weld supply and get us one. I'll buy one more of these or two more of these, whatever I gotta get, just because it's handy. Let's get started on this thing. The first thing we need to do, we need to drill some holes in this freshly powder coated frame, which is always nerve-wracking because it's so nice. And now I'm gonna drill some holes in it. The way we're gonna run these lines, we've got these little fittings right here. They have a nut on them, so they're gonna stick through the frame rail and bolt them in place, and then we'll flex line from there up to the master cylinder. So today we're not gonna be hooking to the master cylinder because it mounts to the cab. We're just gonna get everything on the frame knocked out. Let's get started. So you see my piece of tape right here on the frame. I am going to make this connector stick through the frame right there. And then I'm gonna have two of these. I'm gonna have this T so I can run two lines to the front, and then I'm gonna have a 90 that goes from here so I can run one line all the way to the back. All right, time for the nerves. Painted frame. We're gonna go ahead and center punch nervously into the powder coat. That feels so wrong. And there it is. That's how it's gonna work. It's mounted in there like that. You look underneath there and you see the fitting that's facing to the front. We got all this nice painted or powder coated chassis, and then I just drilled a hole and we got bare metal showing right there. So what I'm gonna do, I got some model paint here. This is just some enamel paint like we used to paint our toy cars with. And I've got this little paintbrush. We're gonna touch up the inside of that hole so we can keep this a nice truck so that there's not gonna be rust bleeding through underneath these brake lines. That solves any future corrosion. We're gonna let that dry for a few minutes and go ahead and install our fittings. Maybe we can start bending some brake lines. Do y'all know what patience is? I'm not gonna be very patient. I'm gonna heat this up, try to keep moving, because I want to be done. And it's powder coat. It should like the heat, right? There they are. That looks really nice. They're sticking through the top of the frame. So this lets our brake system on the chassis be independent from the brake system on the body. We'll just have 2 flex lines coming from the chassis up to the master cylinder. Keeps it nice, keeps it clean. And I think it looks cool with those fittings sticking through the frame. But now we're gonna start figuring out some brake lines and doing some bending. First line we're gonna come from this fitting back here with the T, the one with the T in it. We're gonna come forward and we're gonna come to this first front flex line here. Now Bear provided the flex lines in the kit with our Bear brakes. And you got to use them because the Bear brakes use a banjo style fitting. And then we've got these through frame connectors right here that's going to use the factory hole in the frame and let our flex line run to the chassis there, so we don't need to make a mount for it. We just need to make a line from that T to this flex line through the frame here. Now this is going to be the toughest bend to make because we've got to come out and straight into this fitting in the side of the frame. And if you look right there, you see that little black mark on that piece of rod? To go into the die, if I have a bend anywhere past that point, I won't be able to put this into the flaring die. So I need at least that much straight in order to make me a flare. So I'm going to make this piece have at least that much straight on it and then make my bends. So it's gonna be hard for me to show you with this motor in the way, but I'm gonna sit here and manipulate and bend on this thing and try to get me a piece made out of it, and I'll show you what I come up with. So here's what I've come up with. This is where it's gonna go into the frame. Right here, that fitting's gonna be there. It's gonna be swoopier than this. It's not gonna be those sharp 90s. It's gonna, when you put it in that bender, it's gonna have a little more swoop, but it's gonna come back and it's gotta have this kick up on it to come back up and go into the side of that fitting. So that's where our first line's gonna go. This one actually came up a little short. Remember, I broke this sucker, but I think I'm gonna be able to make it work. So now I need to take it from this piece and transfer it into the stainless line. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna feed some of this stainless line through the tube straightener. Look at that, look how straight that section of tubing is. And then everything else is still in this roll. That little, it's not an expensive tubing straightener, not at all. So you're not gonna see my face here. This is the end of our tubing. Here's our piece. The way I was shown how to do this and the way I've done it that works the best is we're gonna start, the first bend is the easiest, but we're gonna put this up here next to our tubing, just like so. So we're lined up with the end and we're gonna put us a mark here. And that mark is gonna be our identifying mark to show us where it needs to be in the bender to make its first bend. So we know we need a 90. We need a 90 degree right here, so we're gonna make us a 90 with this first little bend. This is where things start getting really tricky and fun, and your brain starts working backwards. So I got my mark. You can't hardly see there, but my mark is on the 0, and then we're just gonna take that. We're in the die real nice and straight. We're just gonna bend it to 90 degrees, just like that. And that's our first bend on our tubing. That's the easiest bend to make. Everything else past this point, everything's gotta be as straight as possible. But we're gonna take this, and we've got this piece, and our next bend needs to be right here. So we're gonna put us a mark here, and we're gonna make that next bend right there. This is where my brain starts getting backwards too. This section of tube needs to bend this way. Okay.
That's what was like 45, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got our piece here. That's pretty close.
So this is bending it this way.
Oh, now he's thinking backwards.
So go this way.
Which way?
Well, we got angles now.
But
you get confused real
it's
quick.
a brain game. It's just which way. I think that's it, Carter. Yeah, that's it. Put that
You
on.
got to think about it first.
Mm-hmm.
You really do have to think about it.
And then you need to rotate up a little bit the other way. A little bit more, right there. Give it a bean.
This is not gonna be fun. Why would anybody?
Oh, whoop. That's it. That's it. You did it. That's all. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Next mark. Okay.
And we gotta go the other way, so this is gonna be upside down. Right?
Well, the problem is, just like you and I have talked about before, when you've got somebody else around, it makes you second guess yourself as well. Like doing it by yourself, you don't got somebody in your ear telling you you're doing everything wrong. No, that's the wrong direction.
That is definitely in the wrong direction. So
Flip all the way around. No, I was saying put your handle on the other side.
can't do that.
Why can't you? Yeah, like that. That's going to achieve the same thing.
Yeah, but it's gonna bend it over here, not over here. It's gonna bend it on this side of the mark. Not
We'll
on
just
this side of
move
the
it
mark.
down a little bit. That's the wrong way too, bud. That's the wrong way too. What I just told you was right.
If you put that bend on there, it's gonna bend this, not this part.
All you got to, it's the same piece.
Okay, we'll go do it. Okay, you want it right there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 10-4.
Just move this up to the 0 mark.
I'm sure you're in the right spot.
You sure?
Yeah. Bend it.
Barely do it.
Hold on. Wait. Kick up.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Bend it.
Is that?
No, that's right.
Yep.
Give me one.
No, that's pretty good.
Right there.
Bend it. Stop. I did the same thing, like I said, fool.
You didn't do the same thing.
This video, it went from serious to entertaining real quick.
It's not.
You just don't want it to be the same.
Okay.
All right.
You're good.
So now that we've got this first section with the bends we need, we're going to, remember I broke this piece, so it's short. So I need to take this back up there and figure out how much extra length I need on this end, and we'll go ahead and cut this off. That little cutter I've had for a long time. It works really good. So now we're gonna go test fit this with no fittings on it, see how it works. All right, there it is in there. But I can already tell you I'm gonna have to put a little bit more bend on this, like Carter was talking about. We need a little bit more 90 right here coming out because my tubing is sticking way out here and it needs to be in here like this. And then if you look right there, I'm gonna have to add one more bend on this end so that it straightens back out into this fitting. We'll put us a little bit more on this end and we're just gonna keep fitting and pulling and fitting and pulling and just manipulating our bends just a little bit until we get it exactly how we want it. After a whole bunch of back and forth, I'm happy with the way that line turned out. Now I did make one mistake that I told y'all about earlier. On this end, remember I told you I needed enough of this to fit into the flaring tool, and you have to make sure you put your fitting on the line first too. So you need enough room for the fitting and this to fit in the flaring tool. On this end, I didn't take that into account. So I'm gonna have to straighten this back out a little bit, flare my end, and then bend it one more time. But it fits very nicely, and you can always do a little bit of manipulation, make this thing fit a little bit better, but I'm very happy with that piece. So let's move on and flare the ends of this. All right, now we're gonna flare. You need to prep your ends good to keep from having any splits and having any debris inside. So I take a little flat file and just flatten that end out. Clean up those edges. And then my little tubing cutter has this little end on it that you put inside there and clean that inside out too. And then we blow through it a little bit. Make sure there's no trash inside there. You can take an air blower and do that as well. I straightened that end back out right there so I can get my fitting on there and bend it. So let's flare an end, and hopefully this is the important part of the process. All right, this is gonna be the faceless section of the video. We've got our line here. be sure you put your fitting on. So for the one going through the frame rail there, it uses one of these traditional style fittings. That's just what it takes. Make sure you put it on first. And then our line will go into, oh no, I didn't make that long enough. That fitting will not work. God dang. So I had to straighten it out a little bit right there, and I've got my fitting past that point so that I can flare it. That's just one of those idiot mistakes. Now that we've finished all of our mental gymnastics, this thing goes in there and you just get it lightly snug. And right here, this says option 0. So if you look, our line is sticking out a little bit of these dies right here. You can see it poking through there. You run option 0 all the way until it's snug, and then you tighten up your tool. Get it nice and tight. And what that does is it gets that line good and flush in there. Then we go to option 1 for 3/16. Right here it says option 1, 3/16. You run this one all the way through its cycle and it smashes it. And then we go to option 2 and it says 3/16 and quarter. Now this one is the important one. You don't want to overdo this one, because if you overdo it, it will split that sucker and you will be starting over. So I have a mark right here on the tool, but that's actually too far as well. So I'm just going to crush it down, back it out, take a gander at it, bump it just a little bit. It doesn't need a ton. And then we pull it off, pull our pin out, and we've got us a little flare. Look at there. That little fitting goes right up to it, got us a nice little flare, and that end is done. So now we just need to rebend this back to where it's supposed to be. We're gonna be sure we put our fitting on, and for these AN fittings, this is a 3AN, you put your fitting on, and you also have this little ferrule that goes on there, and the flare side is gonna face towards where you're gonna flare. So that goes on there as well. We get them out of our way. Now I do put just a little drop of anti-seize on the end of this just to help it kind of lubricate the bend, or the flare, excuse me. You can lay your thing in there, kick your piece over, push your pin, just get it lightly snug. Doesn't need to be super tight. We're on option 0. Our line's sticking through, and this is gonna flush it up to where it needs to be bent. We snug it up right there, because you want to get it pretty tight, because you don't want that line moving. Then we're option 1. We're going to push it all the way through, and make sure you're on the right size tubing. I have done the wrong size, because there's an option 1 for 1/4 inch. And then we option 2 for 3/16 and 1/4 inch. And we give it a little light push, a little bit more. I'm probably going to be happy with that, because I have split them. And there's our piece. Got a flare on the end of it. We're good to go. All right, there is line number 1. So now we're gonna like double down, make these other lines, and just kind of blast through this. Now we've got these front brake lines knocked out. It's time to move on to the rear brake lines. We got these really nice mounts from Lokar. I've probably talked about them too much already. I love mounts. I love anything that's gonna hold something. Those little stupid things like that make me happy. But we're gonna work on the rear brake lines now. We gotta run one line all the way back, and then we got to make our lines across the rear end. So the complication level is a lot less on the back end of the truck. So let's get to work. All right, to give y'all a little perspective, this kit comes with just enough if you do it wrong. So here's where I got to start. Here's where I need to end right here. That's about how much I've got left sticking out the back of the truck there to do the rear end itself. So like I said, we've already got our fittings mounted on the rear end where it's going to come in. We've got our flex lines mounted to the rear end on both sides, and they're already hooked up. So we just have to make this short piece that goes from here to that flex line, and this piece that goes over the pumpkin comes around to this flex line. What I'm saying is I don't have any room for many errors, is what it really boils down to. Now that we've got our line straightened out, we're going to go ahead and do the end. We're going to go ahead and flare this end that goes right there at the cab. because we're gonna work our way back from the front. So I'm just gonna clean this end up a little bit, make sure it's good and clean. Make sure there's no boogers on it. And we'll go ahead and flare this in so I can run it through there and attach it to that fitting coming through the frame, that bulkhead fitting. And then we can bend it accordingly from that point on. So pretty straightforward here. We're just gonna flare it and move on to the next piece in this operation. Cool. Let's go put it on. Now I'm just gonna feed this sucker through there, hook it up on that end, and then make me a few marks along the way as to where I need to bend it. All right, so we got that in there. Now I'll show you what it looks like in there, but I just need to make a couple of bends to get it down here and up here, and just to follow through the cross members and to make it go where it needs to go. Oh, it did it upside down.
So this is your first mess up, Russell?
It's my first mess up.
Your first one?
The hardest part of this is everything being backwards with the bending, and I just did it.
Dang, so you were supposed to go down instead of...
Yes, yes.
You went up.
I was trying to get that down here so this can hook up to it, and I got it up here so it can hook it up to it up here.
You'll be there. You'll be all right.
I'll make it happen. So I did tell y'all earlier that bender gets me, and I did all of this line up until that very last piece. I bent it back, but it's the ugliest spot on the line. Look at that. See that little spot right there? See that little Humpty Dumpty that I got in it? That sucks. Before I drill the holes for this bracket, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some mounts on here, because that line needs to sit closer to the frame on that side. So I'm going to get it mounted closer to the frame, kind of where it's gonna be. I'll do some temporary stuff for now, like I've done along the rest of it, but I just need it to be closer to where it's gonna be so I can mark my hole and drill my hole for that tab, and that will bolt that bracket on there. And then once I do that, we'll move on to the rear end stuff. Now don't mind my bolt, because it was the only one I had. I'll have to get a different one. So I didn't paint inside that hole like I did on the other ones, because I got to take that bolt back out anyway, and I need a shorter bolt. I want something that looks nice, but check it out. There is our assembly. So our line is mounted right there, and we can come straight off of here with our flex line. We'll make a nicer bolt, make that all look nicer than it is, and we're gonna start working on our rear end stuff now. Just like everything else, we make a template. My piece is only long enough to do the section directly above the housing, so that's what we're gonna do. This is a super short section, so we're gonna go ahead and pre-flare it, then do our bending, and then this bend right here, our bender's not gonna do that. It's gonna take probably the acetylene bottle or something like that, but we'll see what happens. So I'm working on this line for the rear brakes, and I just had a moment after, I'm on my third truck now doing this. This is one of those ideas I feel like an idiot for not doing the first day. But I just put that sucker in the vise, and that lets me hold it. I can put it in here, I can work the arm, I can do whatever I need, I can see what's going on. I'm not trying to hold the other side of that. I feel very ignorant right now. This is a brake booster and a master cylinder, and the back side of this brake booster is almost perfect for the center section of that 9-inch housing. I mean, my template fits it really nice. So I'm gonna see if I can put this piece of tubing on there, clamp it in place, and rock it around that curve so that I can get that shape. Hopefully, like I said, remember we talked about this. I can't afford to mess up, so we're going for it. Now the main thing I'm worried about here is this bend kicking, and I'm worried about it springing back and not being enough. We're just gonna hold it tight down right here. Oh man, slam-a-damma. Slam-a-damma. Oh dog, it ain't stupid if it works. Shoot, son. That's pretty good. It needs a little tweaking, and Chase is kicking it. Chase is kicking my stuff. No, I had to bend the tube out here to get it in there because I can't afford to lose any. But that does not look bad, folks. That does not look bad at all. So now I just got to get around all these other obstacles on the rear end and make some mounts. All right, I got this one on here. I still got to figure out mounts, but I'm pretty pleased with it. This end down here was pretty hard, but it looks pretty good. Check it out. There she goes. So we're coming out of our T right here. We're going around the pumpkin. I've got a clamp holding it in place right there. We jump up over this sway bar mount here, and then we come around and we jump over this 4-link bolt here, and everything's still loose, you can see. And then we are right into our mount for our caliper line right there. So that looks good. I got to make this shorter one for this other side. Fortunately, I have plenty of leftover tubing. Where did it go? I might not have plenty. Yeah, look at that. I got plenty. So we're gonna make this short one for the other side, and then we've got one flex line to make, and we're moving on to mounting everything. We're gonna talk about these flex lines a little bit. I've only done them one other time. I'm not gonna sit here and claim to know what I'm talking about. I watched some YouTube videos and I talked to some other people on how to do them. This is kind of sketchy to me. It's not sketchy. It's not sketchy. It's not sketchy. I haven't done enough of them to have confidence in it yet. I've got a piece of tape on the end of this line here from my last cut on the other lines I built. We're gonna put our nut. So this is the crushed nut that's gonna go on there. Goes right on that line, if you can get it on there. That's what the tape is for, is to get it on, because there's little steel braided Dumaflachis. Now, since I'm doing this, I could have gone on from the other end. I was just trying to show you. So now that that is on there, you see that's on there, the next piece we have is this little guy. So this is the ferrule, and that's what goes in between the steel braided cable and over the plastic tube that's inside there. So we'll pull this tape off, and then what we have to do is we have to fold back this steel braided section of this line here enough to get this little ferrule seated inside there. And it'll only go on there one way. There's a little ridge, and it's gonna be impossible for y'all to see on the camera, but it'll bottom out onto that plastic line. And when it's bottomed out on that plastic line, it is where it needs to be. Once it's bottomed out, you put this piece inside there, tighten this nut up, hold everything tight the whole time. Once I get this ferrule on here, I'll show you what that looks like. And then when I'm tightening it up, we'll peek back at it. We've got our little ferrule bottomed out on there. And then we've got this piece right here. So it's gonna focus. There, that little nipple goes inside there. I'm gonna give it a little lubrication. And then it just pops into that line like that. And then the big ticket here that I have noticed from other people talking about this and from me putting a couple of them together, it's keeping all of that tight together so that it doesn't pull this piece out of the ferrule. You want it to suck that piece in and that ferrule not to move, just to crush exactly where it is. So it's, for me, I will put this in the vise vertically like this and clamp this hose, not crazy tight, you don't want to crush it, just enough to hold some pressure, and that will allow me to hold down on this and push up on this at the same time and tighten everything up. That's how I've done it. If I'm wrong and you know how to do this, give me advice, I do not mind. If you run into me at a show or something like that and you saw me do something wrong, I'm a student. Honestly, I promise, I don't know everything. So if you have a right answer for something you saw me do wrong, I'm all ears. Look at how big they are. And look at there. It's together. Hopefully I did that right, but it is, that sucker's in there. The way that crushes on that line, it shouldn't be able to come loose. So now I'm just going to figure out my length for my other piece to go on here. We got a 90 on one end, we're gonna have a straight on the other end, and we're gonna make sure we got enough slack in there for rear end articulation. So wherever it would kind of max out, we want enough slack in there so that it'll never pull tight on that line. You want that line to always just be kind of floating inside there. Oh, I did not tell y'all, since I already did this on that end, I put a piece of tape on here to cut it. I'm gonna cut through the tape. I don't wanna cut next to it. I wanna cut through it so the tape holds those frays from fraying out. You know what I'm saying? And then our Benchmark Abrasives, this is a Benchmark Abrasives grinder, and this is their platinum cutting disc. I'm gonna use that cutoff wheel to twing right through that sucker. All right, so flaying this out, I just use a little pocket screwdriver and then maybe a socket that'll fit over that inner piece. I use the little pocket screwdriver just to push down and get it going. And I'm trying not to let this pocket screwdriver dig into the plastic line. I'm just pushing on the the steel cable itself. But it just starts to flay out, kind of starts to look like a flower, like a flare almost, gives it a flare. And then we just repeat the same steps that we did to put this end on, and there's a line. Let's go put it on, see how well I measured and how well it fits. And there she goes, man. Connected down to the T down here with the straight. It comes up, connects to our frame right back here where our line coming forward is. And we've got a flex line. Now I'm gonna move on to these mounts now. Just start getting things mounted along the frame rails. We've got these cool little brackets from Lokar. They're just like a 3D printed, they look like 3D printed. They might be injection mold, but it's just a little 2-piece shell with that little notch out of it. And it gives you the ability to mount a lot of lines. They've got them for 2 lines, 1 line, several different sizes. We've got plenty of the 3/16 ones, so we can put them on this frame. They come in these little kits. They got screws with them. They've got all the mounts. They've got these doubles. So that's got 2 lines where you can mount 2 lines in it. They've got quarter to quarter, quarter to 3/16. So if you had 2 lines that were different sizes, just a neat little kit, and it gives you nice mounts to mount things. There's nothing wrong with those rubber mounts I used earlier in the video. We've used them on a lot of stuff. They work great and they are cheap as well. So you do what you want to do. We're going to use the Lokars this time. They look nice. This is the nicest chassis we've ever built. It's going to be the nicest truck we've built here. So I'm going to use the nicest stuff we can. I got 90% of the mounts on. I've got one mount here under the engine, and then I've got one little spot here where my 2 lines come into the front in between the motor mounts and the frame. There's like no room. So I've got to make some kind of little bracket that holds them stationary there, so they can't rub on the bolts that hold the control arms, and they can't rub on the motor mount bracket. So one little mount right there should hold those 2 lines because they're already mounted together with these Lokar pieces. And then on the back, on the rear end, we didn't plan far enough ahead when we mounted our tabs for our rear brake lines. We mounted the 2 outer ones for the soft line to hard line transition, and then we mounted in the middle for our T, but we don't have any other mounts on the pumpkin for holding the brake lines. Now, I did have the hose clamps that Bear Brakes sends with this. I wrapped them in heat shrink. It's an idea that my buddy Josh does on his stuff. So I put heat shrink on them, put a little piece of rubber hose on there, and have them secured to the axle tubes. But as far as to the pumpkin section of the rear end, I'm very torn. I could drill holes, but I am gonna put contaminants inside the rear end. We've already got it all together. I don't wanna take it apart. So what I think I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna make some little mount tabs, pre-drill them and everything, and panel bond them on there. All the mounts being on here makes me happy, man. It really does. So the brake lines on the chassis, other than these 4 mounts, it's 2 at the front, 1 by the motor mount, 1 by the motor, and then 2 on the rear end housing. I just want 1 at the top side of this pumpkin and 1 down here low, and then that's knocked out. But it all looks nice, it all fits good, so I'm happy. That really means that I'm moving on to the next thing on this truck. What that is gonna be something to do with the cab. We got a lot of work to do on the cab, shaving the firewall. The tunnel's gonna be bigger thanks to Auto Metal Direct. Got the high hump kit from them. So we got a lot of work to do, but this section of it is, we're gonna say it's done. After much thought, I'm not gonna glue it on there. Carter's convinced me it's gonna be okay. We're gonna put some grease on a drill bit, put some grease on a tap, and we're gonna drill and tap this sucker, get this brake line mounted to this rear end. That finishes up the brake lines. We'll have to drill the 2 mounts when we pull the motor back loose, but we're gonna call that done and we're gonna move on. That knocks the brake lines out. They're all knocked out, they're all done. This is only my 3rd time ever doing it, so if I can do it nice like this on my 3rd time, you can do it nice on your 1st time. You just need to take your time doing it. The bending is a mind breaker sometimes. It gets me most of the time. I have to overthink and I still make mistakes. But all this stuff is fixable. Just need a couple of the right tools and you can source your brake line kits wherever you'd like to. Be sure you're making your fittings good. Make sure all your connections are good because the brakes are very, very important. Stopping your ride is very important. So you don't want a brake failure. Do your research and get something that you're proud of when you're done with. Because like, this is the nicest truck we've built so far and it's not done, but I'm proud of it already. So thanks for watching, guys. Click that like, subscribe button, grab you a t-shirt. We'll see you on the next one.